Hey, if you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the Curiosity Wiki YouTube channel. Activate the bell to be the first to see the new videos. Throughout life, we forget a lot of information. Why does this happen? How can we remember things more clearly? Well, today we will present you with some simple memory tips. Let's start by talking about why we forget things. Your brain is like a hard drive. Space is limited. Sherlock Holmes couldn't tell which are all the planets in the solar system. This didn't happen because he missed school, of course not, but because he was too smart to have irrelevant information in his memory. It deliberately deleted data he didn't need. That's what your brain does. It protects you from information overload. That's why all new data is stored in short memory. That's why if you don't repeat it or use it, you'll forget it very quickly. A German psychologist has researched memory and its mechanisms. He described the forgetting curve, which shows that just 1 hour after learning something new, we forget more than half of the information we learned. A day later, we remember only 30%. Well, you can see where we're going with this. So, how do we remember everything? Forced memorization is not very effective in this case, because your brain can only grasp information so fast. Here is a good method to memorize something quickly. Firstly, repeat the information immediately after learning it. The second repetition should be after 15 to 20 minutes. You don't have to do anything else between repetitions, just rest and do something different. Let your brain relax. Repeat the learned material a third time after 6 to 8 hours, and you should have the last repetition 24 hours after the first contact with the information. Try this method next time you need to memorize something quickly, and let us know how it worked in the comments. Now, here are some simple tips that will help you remember things easier and faster. Try to understand what you are learning. You probably know the feeling when you learn something but don't understand the information. Usually such learning turns into a nightmare. One bad thing about learning something you don't understand is that if you forget some of it, you won't be able to continue, because you have only memorized the order of the words, not their real meaning. That's why we don't recommend doing something like that. What you should do is read the whole thing and figure out the main points. Try to recount what you have learned using your own words. As simple as it may sound, if you have succeeded, you have understood the information. Learn the most necessary information. If you feel you have too much on your mind, set your priorities. Decide what you need to know. Concentrate on the main parts of what you need to memorize, and if you find time to devote to it, you can move on to the less important information. Remember this: the things that are at the beginning and the end are memorized best. So use this to your advantage. Order the information so that the important parts are at the beginning and end. Interference theory. Shift your attention from one topic to another, from one activity to another. For example, you've been learning a text for 15 minutes, so it's time to take a break to rest every 15 to 20 minutes, because that's when attention is at its best. So the best thing you can do is switch to something completely different, like singing or watching a video. One important thing to watch out for: if you're learning similar information, interference theory suggests that similar memories get mixed up. So if you know you're about to learn something that's similar to what you've already learned, we recommend you take a long break before you start. Learn different things. Different things are easy to memorize in pairs. For example, if you are learning a new language, memorize two opposite things like day and night together. This way you will build a link between these two things in your mind. So if you forget one of them, the second one will help you remember it. Build your own empire of the mind. Remember how Sherlock Holmes could travel the palace of his mind for hours in search of needed information? The idea is to associate certain things with a certain place. For example, if you're in your room, try to link what you're learning to something in your room. Then repeat the things you have learned. Or you can try this: divide all the material you need to memorize into a few parts. Learn these parts in different rooms of your apartment. Or even better, in different places in the city. In this way, the memorized information will not be boring. It will be associated with other memories, smells, people you have seen there, and so on. Use matching words. The aim of this technique is to link one thing learned to another. For example, if you need to memorize the French word for trousers, you should also look up blouse and other words that you can link logically. Make up stories. If you need to memorize a lot of information in a certain order, try putting the information into a story. It's important that the pieces are connected so that if you accidentally forget something, you can always remember what was supposed to happen next in the story. Yes, it may seem like it takes more effort, but it's worth it, trust us, it works. Do you know any other memorization tips? If so, share them in the comments.